Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Players Only YouTube channel. And what's a game? Once again, the Champions League. It is football heritage. Real Madrid beating Bayern Munich in a classic in the semi-final of a Champions League. There was late drama. There was coming from behind type action. There was Carlo Ancelotti's eyebrow. And there was the chair being raised by Antonio Rudiger and David Alaba. That's what we can expect from the Champions League semi-final. And that is just what Real Madrid do best. Joselu, the hero, that will be the title of this video. He came in clutch off the bench in one of the most impactful 9 minutes he'll perform in his life. And Real Madrid are off to another Champions League final to face Borussia Dortmund. And I tell you what, my notes for this game are more than a page long. That's just how exciting this game was. Back and forth type of affair. Teams, chances galore, keepers on top. Great chances for them, the forwards, some great interplay throughout the game. And just two of the great European teams going at it. And arguably the two best teams in Europe this season going head-to-head. Bayern have been at that standard this season in the Champions League. They've taken it to Real Madrid and were a stern test in this game here. Let's get straight into the game then. And in the first 14 seconds, it was a chance for Real Madrid, just showing the theme of this game. Sane left his pass short from kickoff, and Vinicius went out the other end and won a corner for Real Madrid. And that was sort of the theme of the game. The energy was up, the fans were up, and Vinicius Jr. was up for minute one. And that was just a fantastic way to start the game. Merely minutes later in the 5th minute, Dani Carvajal whips the ball in for that right-hand side, which Rodrigo was centimetres away from. And it was just a theme of his game to come. Rodrigo constantly involved, but never quite getting that final touch or that finishing product. He was very good in the build-up, but never quite had that ability to put the ball in the back of the net. In the 5th minute, Real Madrid having two massive chances, and Bayern Munich were out of the game. They went up the other end in the 8th minute, and a great little reverse pass from Jamal Musiala found Serge Gnabry, and his sort of pass shot in between both just was eluded Harry Kane, who was trying to come to the back post to finish as well. So in the first 8 minutes, we had chances galore for both sides, and that theme would continue as minutes later, around the 11th minute mark, Vinicius went up the other end. A great solid dribble and run, shot at goal, which was parried onto the post by Manuel Neuer. He then got up and off that parried effort was able to save Rodrigo's effort from the 6-yard box, and a fantastic double save for Manuel Neuer. Just a theme of the game as well, where Neuer and Luna were just up to every task that was required of them. Every sort of chance or save they could have made, they absolutely made it, and that was just the theme of the game. Then, unfortunately, it was Serge Gnabry to go down with what's expected to be another hamstring injury in the 27th minute, but it meant Alphonso Davies was injected into the side off the bench in a more progressive role on that sort of left-hand flank there, a bit more high up the pitch, like we saw when he was a youngster as a teenager. So very exciting that substitution would go on to be. The excitement continued. Harry Kane nearly volleyed home a fantastic effort as Kimmich's pass shot came deflected up into the sky, and Harry Kane took it on the volley and nearly crept it in at Lunen's near post, but the Ukrainian keeper was down smartly to deny Harry Kane there, and it just felt like no goal would be happening this game here with all these great chances being saved by the keepers. Manuel Neuer once again was called into action. Vinicius Jr. with a cross from his left-hand flank that was, I think, targeted for Rodrigo, but no one got a touch on it, no defender or Rodrigo got a touch into it. So Manuel Neuer was called in late to make a reflex-type save and claw the ball out from the back of the net, once again to keep the game at 0-0. And that's the way it would end at halftime, 0-0, despite all the chances for both sides. Real Madrid probably having the lion's share of possession, probably more the better chances, and obviously more involved. But Bayern, as we got to see in the second half, they were a very big threat in the counter-attack. They were constantly challenging Real Madrid in midfield areas, and they were not out of the game at all. We saw they could have scored 1 or 2 goals if things had gone their way in that first half there. So come the second half, that counter-attacking threat and Alphonso Davies was shown as Harry Kane found Alphonso Davies in the 47th minute with a great through ball, basically 2 passes from their own defensive area to Alphonso Davies, who would drive, and his shot was deflected off a sliding Dani Carvajal and nearly looped the ball over Andre Luna into the back of the net. Luckily for Real Madrid, and the Ukrainian keeper ended up on the top of the net, just going over the crossbar. But that was a warning sign for Real Madrid on the counter-attack. Harry Kane worked so well, and with Alphonso Davies more progressive up the pitch with that electric pace, he was going to get in behind at some point. That was the first shot fired in the second half, and it was from Bayern Munich. Harry Kane once again was involved. He held off Nacho and then Ferland Mendy to have a great shot to the near post, and once again Lunin down smartly to his bottom left to keep the ball out the back of the net. But once again, Bayern Munich having the major shots early on in this game. They were the firing, the danger shots early on. They were putting pressure on Real Madrid early. bit of a reverse what we saw in the first half. But then Vinicius Jr. sparked Real Madrid back alive in the 55th minute, a fabulous solo run, threaded through a pass to Rodrigo, and his flicked effort went through the legs of Eric Dyer, but somehow stayed out of the net and rolled past and rolled wide of the goal. But once again, you're thinking, how has there been no goal in this game here up to this point in time, up to the 60th minute? How has been no goal in this game? Chances galore at both ends, big chances spurned for both sides. And I thought, oh, is this one just destined for penalties? At that point in time, I thought, God, it just feels like it's going to be that sort of game, isn't it? But we continue on. Vinicius once again getting at Kimmich, getting in behind him, and the 60th minute, forcing a superb save for Manuel Neuer as he smacked that ball so hard with a lot of venom. Neuer with a strong left-hand palm to keep the ball at the back of the net. And then finally, the opener came. 68th minute, Alphonso Davies skipped into his right foot after another great counter-attack from their own half. Jamal Musiala winning it on the edge of his own area from Fede Valverde or Rodrigo, I believe, played the pass out, and Alphonso Davies, a great solo run, skipped in on his right foot, past Antonio Rudiger, and smacked that, absolutely wellied that into the far corner with power, precision, curve, the like, and that behind goal view was just fabulous. Andre Lunin had no chance to save it, and Bayern Munich, I said, they were threatening it a lot in the first half and the start of the second half on the counter-attack through Alphonso Davies, getting the big goal. And then once again, Alphonso Davies on his right foot smacking this ball in the back of the net. And you thought maybe that was the pivotal blow. Maybe that was the final nail in Real Madrid coffin, because they had so many chances, missed so many opportunities. And you thought maybe that was game over for them. Valverde thought he'd equalised in the 71st minute, but Nacho had pushed Kimmich in the face. So that was ruled back for a foul in the build-up. And I thought the game would have been killed off. Jamal Musiala, who was building in the game as the game continued, great feed and interplay, found Harry Kane with a reverse ball in the 75th minute, and I thought he could kill the game off, but he put his effort wide at the near post, hitting the side netting, and I thought, oh, that was a big opportunity there. 75th minute, 2-0. You think that's game over, tie over, 2-goal lead. Bayern Munich can hold on from there, but Real Madrid still had a lifeline. And what a ball from Antonio Rudiger in the 81st minute. Found a great running Vinicius Jr. in behind, and he took the ball on the volley in the full, but he just couldn't get over the top of the ball and skied it over the top of the crossbar. And that's when I thought maybe it was game over for Real Madrid. 9 minutes to go, plus a bit of stoppages. But at that point, I thought, oh, you missed so many chances. Vinicius, it felt like if he could score that chance from that superb Rudiger pass, that would be the momentum they needed to keep going. But that miss felt like energy was sapped out of the crowd, sapped out of this team, but it wasn't to be. They would continue to fire Real Madrid, continue to pressure, and it was Joselu off the bench. Vinicius Jr. with another great solo run, used Vela Mendes, the wide player, to open a bit of space, cut in on that right foot, smacked the ball at Neuer, bit of swerve on it, it bounced in front of him, and it came off Neuer's chest. And one of the only mistakes he's made probably all season, it bounced into the path of Joselu, who was the first to react, beating Eric Dyer to that parry ball, and he slotted it home in the 88th minute, merely minutes after coming onto the pitch to make it 1-1. There was scenes everywhere at the Bernabeu. There was energy, fans, excitement, just players on the pitch celebrating, and you thought they haven't won this game, but they've got an equaliser. But that's just what the team was all about. The energy shifted, the momentum shifted at that point in time, and you could tell Real Madrid were the only team to go on and win that game. It felt like from that moment on, they'd keep pounding away. Brahim Diaz had his shot blocked away by Eric Dyer, and then in the 91st minute, Bayern couldn't clear a corner. Scuff clearance of another cross ball into the area, so it fell back out to Antonio Rudiger on the left-hand flank. He's the ball that crossed the ball across the 6-yard box, and who's there? Joselu again in the 91st minute, taps the ball home, poaches type finish, and it was ruled out for offside. First, I think they thought Rudiger was offside, and they thought Joselu was offside. Both after about 2 or 3 minutes of waiting was finally confirmed to be not offside. The goal stood, and pandemonium at the Bernabeu. Absolute scenes. Rudiger jumping into the fans to celebrate. Joselu was one of the great celebrations in front of the adoring Madristas. And what a story for him. We'll get into him in a minute, but what a moment for him to score at that big stage, at this big club, a club that he loves and he adores. So special moment there, but it wasn't all over there. De Ligt went up in the 13th minute of stoppage time and ended up scoring a chance for Real Madrid, but it was deemed to be offside by the on-field referee, the linesman who called it. So the referee blew the whistle, and that means you cannot rule this back or go check it back on VAR. And for many, many looks at this, it looks like Mazari's onside. So a mistake was made by the linesman to put the flag up. The referee blows a whistle. Game's dead. You cannot review this. Go back on VAR. So such Real Madrid, dodged a bit of a bullet. Thomas Tuchel not happy. But in the end, Real Madrid hold on for a 2-1 victory, coming from behind once again to secure another famous Champions League win. And obviously all the controversy there with the final goal not counting for Matthias de Ligt. But that all being said, Real Madrid absolutely earned this result. Domination, we had 19 shots, 7 on target, the 2.95 XG, 5 big chances created against Bayern's only 8 shots, 5 on target. No classified big chances in this game, and their goal coming on the counter-attack. But don't get me wrong, Bayern took it to Real Madrid and played a Real Madrid top performance inverse and what we saw in that semi-final where they went away in the second leg and counter-attack Man City. That's what Bayern did very, very well, but just couldn't hold on. When it comes to this moment again now, Bayern in this season without a trophy. Harry Kane moves there, no trophy won this year. Devastation for this side. You saw it, Muller's anger at full time. He felt like they wanted to go the line. Neuer just looked shell-shocked with his mistake and how the game was turned around so much. But I guess that's just what this competition and this team's all about. Real Madrid just find a way to win in these type of games. But for Bayern, there's a few players that really stood out to me. Matthias de Ligt coming back into the side did incredibly well. 10 clearances, 2 blocks, won 7 out of his 9 duels on the ground. Alphonso Davies, who came on in the 27th minute, changed the game with that counter-attacking goal, a fabulous right-footed finish. And then Jamal Musiala, for me, just kept growing and growing into this game here. Ended up with a 7.1 match rating, created some massive chances, was pivotal to try and get the team going on the counter-attack. And just a superb player, and some of his interplay and work throughout the game was fabulous. So those two really stood out for me for Bayern. I mean, they worked so hard, but just not enough in the end. And that gets me on to my Real Madrid 2 key players in this game. Toni Kroos, what a 2-legged performance from him. 101 passes in this game here. I think over 103 touches in the game. A 93% pass accuracy, 4 key passes, the 7.9 match rating. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And I know when he was on the pitch, they ended up being down and losing at that point in time, but he was just so consistent throughout this game, consistently getting on the ball for Real Madrid and continuing going forward. And Jude Bellingham said in his post-match press conferences, he looks around that change room and he can't possibly be nervous because the likes of Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Nacho, Carvajal are in this change room. These players that have won so much and achieved so much. And in this 2-legged affair, Toni Kroos has separated himself and probably been the best midfielder across the 2 legs. And goes to show, despite his age, despite how many times he's done it before, he continues to lift his levels and continues to perform at such a high level. His control, his ability to read the game and to be in charge of all these moments is just fantastic. There's no one quite like Toni Kroos in my mind. And when you bring on like Luka Modric off the bench as well, the control of the game you have because of how silky smooth these players are and how unfazed they are by pressure and how they always find the right pass. It's unbeatable for Real Madrid when you have these sort of guys around the squad. Obviously, Vinicius Junior labelled man of the match, back-to-back man of the matches across the 2 legs, 2 goals in the opening leg there, and then fantastic in this tie here. 7.8 match rating, 7 successful dribbles. I think the 7.8 match rating average across the 2 legs performances. Just fantastic across both ties. 2 goals in the first leg, basically single-handedly. Got Real Madrid going in this tie here, continued to run at defenders, continued to exploit the lack of pace there with Joshua Kimmich at fullback. He was terrorising this Bayern backline, should have had probably 2 goals in this game as well. And I guess at the end of the day, Joselu scores that goal from the Vinicius shot that was swerving and bouncing in front of Neuer, give him the indirect assist in many regards. But Vinicius throughout this game was fantastic and I guess deserving of the man of the match performance. But my man of the match, and I guess what an inspirational type moment. Joselu, who's come across this year to Real Madrid, coming, I guess, off Karim Benzema leaving the club, Jude Bellingham most of the season playing as a false 9, having struggles in the season in terms of missing big chances. Again, a certified La Liga quality player, but is he the player to perform these Champions League stages? Me and Nathan were sitting on the podcast on Wednesday night here, saying that he will taking the mick out of him a bit and saying this guy isn't up to the Real Madrid standard. How is he there? But he goes to show us why. A real poacher's type performance, and it's come out overnight how he was there in 2022, I believe, for the Champions League final. The last time the Real Madrid were there as a fan, now he will be there as a player. It's just such a good feel moment. And you can see the emotion. Every time he scores at the Bernabeu, you see the emotion that it pours out. Always goes to knee slide, up to the ground. We're seeing tears every time he scores a goal. He loves the club. He is a fan at heart, and he's gone and shown his fan experience on the pitch by winning it for all those fans in the crowd there. And just the outpouring of emotion when that second goal went in, it was confirmed. Just fantastic. What a moment. 2 goals in merely like 9 or 8 minutes on the pitch, I believe. He came on the 81st minute. So just fantastic. 9 minutes of action, 2 goals, a 9.0 match rating, and just a pure striker's effort, poaching off the parried effort from Neuer, being there for the cross across the 6-yard box. That's what a striker's all about. That's what he delivered in this game here. When they needed someone to stand up, Real Madrid found Joselu, and that was just fantastic to see. And that just leads on to say what Real Madrid are all about. They're all about, as I said, players turning up in big moments. By wearing this badge, you get a suit of armour, you get that superpower where you will have a game where you will need to stand up and you'll need to do the business, and they always do. Toni Kroos and Vinicius Jr. in the first leg. Vinicius and Joselu here in this leg here, the second leg. Rodrigo and Jude Bellingham away to Manchester City in that second leg. Brahim Diaz versus RB Leipzig there in that first leg in the round of 16. They just always have someone to stand up. And this badge must mean so much to these players because they go out there and play so fearlessly. Antonio Rudiger against Manchester City across the 2 legs. There's been some fantastic performances across this journey, and players always know when to stand up. Carlo Ancelotti said it at full time on the press conferences. It's one of the best squads he's ever coached. Just how resilient they are, how they keep fighting. And this squad now, in many regards, has done it twice. Against Man City, only 2 years ago, and then this year as well in the semi-finals, coming from nowhere. 88th minute, they were down 1-0. They were going out. But there's something about the Bernabeu and Champions League nights, and especially knockout finals. It has something about the aura. You always believe Real Madrid in the game, and I think Thierry Henry said it on that CBS broadcast that against Real Madrid, you have to play to that final whistle, because if you do not, they will find a way to beat you. And that's just what this club's built on, and that's what this Carlo Ancelotti side's been all about. They just always find a way to beat you. And at full time, you pan around to these Bayern players and Thomas Tuchel, and they looked almost stunned, because I think this place, the whole atmosphere, the aura of the Bernabeu and Real Madrid on Champions League nights is just so much to deal with. It's gobsmacking. I was sitting there speechless during that sort of final few moments. It was like, how has this happened again? How do they keep doing this? It's just something so special about this side. They are such a special side. They've played over 50 games this season. I believe they've only lost twice, once in the league and once in the Copa del Rey. They've just been fantastic, and the players have just been so consistent. Whoever comes in and does the job will do the job. Joselu this night. You can look to the league. Jude Bellingham coming in, hitting the ground running. Rodrigo importing goals in important moments. Toni Kroos and Luka Modric continuing to perform at their elder age. Tchouaméni playing centre-back and holding midfield. Camavinga playing left-back and holding midfield. There's been so many different occasions this season. Andre Lunin versus Real Madrid standing up with their penalty saves. He's the third keeper that's come in and now made number 1 his spot. It's just... They've dealt with so many injuries. David Alaba out, Eden Militao out for most of the season. Yeah, they've had so many injuries, so many players go in and out, so many moments, but they always find a way. It's such a special team, such a special shirt, and it feels like it is magic. It is purely a Real Madrid magic, a Real Madrid aura in the Champions League, and I think you just can't explain it. And as I said, you look to those full-time scenes again. If you go back and watch it, you just see these Bayern players and coaches and Tuchel. I think Tuchel looked at it, summed it up the most. Look, their glazed eyes. He was like, didn't know what hit him, because that Bernabeu, that club on Champions League nights, unbeatable. You never rule them out. And just what a fantastic result. And the way it's Joselu as well, the guy that's come in and clearly not the Real Madrid top player, one of the squad players, one of the rotation players, but when he's called upon to come on the pitch in the 81st minute and to come and change the game like he did, goes to show what this club's all about. And once again, shout out to Carlo Ancelotti. This now has to put him in the contention now for top 3 or top 5 managers of all time. He's going to his 6th Champions League final now. They're going to most likely now, if they can go win the treble once again this season, Real Madrid. They are La Liga winners again. He continues to perform, and it's underrated how much it takes to manage these sort of sides with so many characters, so many attitudes, so many high quality players. It takes a lot to manage this side and control this side, but he does it so well. And his in-game management to pick the right substitutions, to pick Joselu to come on, to pick Brahim Diaz to come off, to drag off Rodrigo, Jude Bellingham, Toni Kroos, and to trust these sort of players to come on and do the job for you is just fantastic. And it has to go down to, once again, to Carlo Ancelotti, the Don, for what he's been able to do with this side. It's, as people say, people might say it's so easy to coach a side. There's so many good players, but there's one thing having good players. There's another thing getting them to perform and work together and gel as a unit. And Carlo just gets that to happen. And he gets this fighting spirit in this side. He gets a sense of freedom where they believe they can continue to fight for games no matter how late in the game they're down 1-0, how many goals down they are. They will continue to fight. They're such a resilient bunch and they can win in so many different ways. But in the Champions League, they always find a way to come from behind. And it is just fantastic to watch. As I said, I think they've only lost 2 games this whole season, the 50 games they've played. Fantastic from start to finish from Real Madrid. And boy, they've got a great final versus Borussia Dortmund at Wembley on the 1st of June to look forward to. I cannot wait for that game there because we've got storylines galore. Marco Reus, his chance to win a major trophy with Borussia Dortmund, his final game for the club. Mats Hummels, as the 36-year-old, has a chance to win it with the club for probably one of his last major trophies. Jadon Sancho as well, can he win it? Ian Maatsen, can these two win it? Both leaving English clubs where they were not wanted. Or will it be Real Madrid, Jude Bellingham's first season? A year for Vinicius and his knockout football to go and show that he is one of the best footballers in the world. For Andre Luna to complete this great arc where he's come from a third keeper to be the keeper. Can Toni Kroos and Luka Modric lift another trophy? Can Real Madrid win 15 Champions League trophies this season? Can it be the 15th this season? So many storylines. Absolutely cannot wait. But I hope you stayed with me with this. It was an absolute mouthful. I'm sorry, but I was speechless in that game and almost left me speechless. This recap of this game here. What a game. And I shouldn't be surprised anymore. This is what Real Madrid do. They love these moments. They love the Champions League. Call them Champions League FC. Call them Aura FC. Whatever you want to call them. They just find a way. Never rule Real Madrid out in a tie. Take that and put that away. Never bet against this team. They are absolutely fantastic. Joselu the hero. Champions League 15 potentially inbound for Real Madrid. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please be sure to smash a like on it if you did. Subscribe to the Players Zone channel if you want to enjoy more content like this. That would be much appreciated. And also press that post notification bell so you know when we upload more podcasts, reaction videos, analytical videos, and prediction videos that all live here on the channel. With that being said, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the Champions League this week. Cannot wait for the final to come. Have a great week today. Enjoy the weekend's football action. And I'll see you guys for a video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. Peace.